Hey guys, what's happening? Can you guys hear me good? All right. Looks like we got some people in here. Excellent. Films Aquatics. What's up, Jeff? How you doing, man? Big Fish Lad, what's up, buddy? Since 1988 Wallace, what's up? It says we got 7 people. Appreciate you guys stopping by. I've been struggling the past few weeks, man. I didn't even have a voice. I still don't have, not 100%, but I got kids brought home a nice illness. Might have been a flu, not really sure. And it absolutely killed my voice. And I was gonna do some videos past week and a half, 2 weeks, and I could not. Wouldn't have sounded nice. I still don't sound great, but hope you guys have been staying healthy. Definitely wasn't COVID. I got tested negative a few times, but there's all kinds of stuff going around apparently. Some that's here is even worse than COVID. So wonderful stuff. But we're not here to talk about getting sick. We are here for the monthly Cichlid meeting. It's where we talk about the fun, sometimes the controversial topics on cichlids, the fish we all love. And that's what it is, basically. You know, stop in. Don't have to stay for long, stay for the whole time. You know, we network, we discuss anything's on the table, I feel. You guys want to see anything here in my fish room? Feel free, let me know, ask any questions on anything. I just recorded my monthly fish room update, so hopefully I get that out in a few days. But that's just been lack of time and stuff on my part, so I apologize there, but had to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here on a Sunday. Nice sunny day. Got sick of watching football. Can't pick a game right. So I said, hey, let me go hang out in the fish room. You can actually hear what I'm saying now, unlike a week ago. So appreciate the comments and compliments here, guys. Gabriel's Glass Boxes. What's up, Gabriel? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I'm doing okay, guys. Thanks for asking. Definitely no sickness that's going to stop me from maintaining my fish, my tanks. So that's a good thing. We'll answer some questions. I highly encourage not being shy. Ask away. Do not hold back. And it doesn't just have to be questions for me, guys. Questions for anyone. Again, this is a big discussion. If you think of a really cool topic, you get kudos for that. Bring it up. Address it to everyone. And I'll do the same. I can think of something cool. I try to do that as much as possible, so I might run out of topics here, but if I can think of anything, maybe I'll rehash something. I think some of the cool topics we've talked about in the past were like Jack Dempsey's versus Electric Blue Jack Dempsey's. Are the Electric Blues hybrids? Are they pure? You know, those are the type, like for example, that we've talked about, you know, and you know, as long as everybody's respectful, just provide your opinions and whatever information you got, I think we can all learn. It's always a cool topics. Gabriel says, is it natural for a female convict to clear gravel from an enclosure? Yeah, where was I at? I was on my multifasciatus tank. I'll go there real quick here. Gabriel, something like that is what you're referring to? I'm wondering. These are the multifasciatus. They cleared out. See, they got, I'll take it off the tripod, but you could see what they're doing to the gravel. And my guess, and I mentioned this in the November fish room update, my guess is they're preparing to spawn in this corner. I'm looking real quick to make sure it didn't already happen. Doesn't look like it happened. This pair does not have a pot, and there are 3 pairs in here. There's a pair here. This pair usually spawns in the one pot that I have in here, in that corner. They're over in the middle of the tank right now. There's a pair in the back. You can see that male flaring up at them right here. They spawn on that driftwood somewhere. And then so this pair, kind of left with very few options. And it looks like they might be gearing up here. I'm looking at the female, see if her tube is down. I don't see it. But she could be preparing, we'll see. So yeah, I would say it's kind of normal if, you know, even not even having a pair, just a female could go through the motions on her own. So that would be my opinion on the matter. We'll go back to the Blue Texas. And every pair is different. Every female is different. This pair right here, female had a really interesting pattern. She that back sponge filter right there, when it was in the corner over here, she every single month she would spawn on top of the sponge filter and then try to move her fry in the pot right there. It's just her routine. So, you know, some might do it on the floor and they have to move some of the gravel. I think I've even had some just lay on the gravel before. So it can vary, but I think that's what she's trying to do. What's up, Jay? Jay Smith in the house. Jay said, how's it going, Matt? Los Angeles, beautiful weather. Just can't beat this time of year. I agree with you, Jay. It's not too hot, but I think just right. Beautiful weather. Gets a little cool at night. It's okay. We can sleep without having to use the AC. You know, as far as cichlids, a little bit of a cool down period that we're gonna go through, but not like across the U.S. We definitely have a more mild case of that, but definitely a cool down where my tanks in this garage can get as low as 72, 73 if unheated. And that's not a problem, at least for the species I keep. Hope you're doing good, Jay. but I can't agree with you more. Beautiful weather out here. Donovan 370Z said, how do you know if you have a or female blue text when they're only 2 inches? Is it hard to tell? Yeah, you know, Donovan, I don't think of myself as an expert at all. I'm just a guy trying to learn every day. I find it to be a little difficult, to be honest with you. If they're not, you know, starting to try to pair out, and 2 inches is a little small for that, I think. Maybe 3-inch mark. You could see this female over here. I'll go right to it. This female is about 3.5 inches now, but at around her 3-inch mark, you could tell she paired up with that male, and you can see her underside is very dark. She's not spawning right now, but you could see the look of kind of a female, a definite female right there, spawned multiple times, and she's paired up with this male. And I think a lot of people say is kind of the slope of the head is a little bit different in the male and the female. And you definitely can see that, I think, with the adult fish too. Here's a female. Maybe she'll turn a little bit for us. There you go. And you can see the hump and the head of the male. So it's hard at 2 inches. And these are just for reference. This guy's probably around 10 inches, but just very tall and a lot of mass to him. And the female's probably around six inches, I would guess. Definitely have the profiles are different, but I think it's going to be hard for you to tell at 2 inches. At least it's hard for me. Some people are more experts on the species, so maybe they have other methods. So if you guys can add to that, please feel free. Thanks for the question. Matt Hernandez, what's up, bud? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Just another day in the fish room for me. Pelham's Aquatics said back, I got bumped out. Internet is weird today. Okay. Hopefully mine doesn't do the same. Kaliam Howell, hello, where do you get those cylinders for your aquariums? That's a good question. And it's definitely a question I get a lot of, usually through messaging, you know, on Instagram and Facebook. But these are, so I first got these cylinder things, and I think this is one of them. I got this from a guy who was selling some of his aquarium stuff, and I said, why not try it? And, you know, it's made out of the terracotta clay pot stuff, you know, and I used it first with I had a pair of umbies, and I thought it was really good. I had the female could fit in the pot, the male, the tube, the male couldn't, and that's primarily what I use it for. But they also, the female would spawn on top of them, and you know, they like that that surface, the feel of it, you know, the clay pot feel, and I said, man, I got to get more of those. I could not find them for the life of me. I eventually was able to figure out where to get them, and basically I had to go to a plumbing supply shop. So it's not really like a retail store. You know, I don't know, many plumbing shops are retail store, you know. Couldn't find them at Home Depot, but I had to go to a specific plumbing shop, and what I found was not cut pieces of like 6 to 12 inch pieces. I had to buy like a 3-foot long tube. It's really cheap though. I think it was like $30 at the time. I just had to get it cut, and so I had my contractor, who's got a saw, cut that thing into like 5 pieces, 6 pieces, and I got them in a number of my tanks. I really love them. Also, I use them in this aspect. You could see this is a 240-gallon divided with Feste, pretty large one. That male is pretty big, 13 inches plus. And I'm also using it to kind of as a backup support for the divider, because you know, they could push this divider through. They're strong enough. You know, I even throw driftwood on top of it, but I put it right next to the divider. Females can fit in there. There's the female. Out at a plumbing supply shop, and you should be able to find those tubes. I think they use them for plumbing, basically. And they were, man, sorry guys, I'm really just checking out this female here. For my fish room update video, I couldn't get her to come out. And now the live video, you guys aren't even going to see her colors very well. So I kind of got screwed there. But anyways, she's just glowing with that sunlight. So anyways, since we're on the fest day, we'll just take a look at them a little bit more. There's the big male, wild-caught male. I don't know if I've had this angle of the sun on them, recorded them. I probably should do that at this time again. So I think it's really hitting them nicely. But any of you guys fest day lovers in here? I know Big Fish Lad is, he's got to get these things soon. Better be on his list of fish to get. I don't think you'll be disappointed, bud. So anyways, we were talking about the pots. So anyways, and then the only other thing I did after they were cut is I filed the edges, because the edges were really sharp after that saw, and then the inside. So the outside of the tube and the inside I filed with this like metal filer. Really easy to do, just a hand file, just to make sure, because she's gonna go in there in the tube. The male would even try to go in the tube even though he can't fit, and I don't want some sharp edge damaging them, and so that's what I did. So hope that answers your question, and I wish you good luck. Hope you find some. Definitely great to have. I highly recommend them. All right. Phelim said he loves the old school JDs. Yeah, man, I gotta try them. You know, that's species I've never actually kept, Jack Dempsey's. Funny enough, I think it's time for me to step it up. Gabriel said, I am a new cichlid owner, about 2 months in so far, and they are thriving. I have angels, female convicts, a Jack Dempsey, and a Venestratus, or whatever, or sorry, Venesis, and what I think is a Venesis. Okay, well, cool, man. Welcome to the journey, Gabriel. If you're like most of us here, I think it's just going to be get ready to clear out more and more space for tanks, because I mean, at least in my case, and many people that I know, you know, you just think, I just need one small tank, and then suddenly you're going to see the urge to get bigger tanks, get more tanks, and then once you got all those on tank stands, you're like, oh man, how do I fit more tanks in this set area? Then you're going to start replacing the stands with racks so you can do, you know, a double high. We'll see if your journey goes in that direction, but I think you're going to have a lot of fun either way. Gabriel said, I have a single female convict in 2 different communities, and one of them cleared the gravel from underneath a pineapple house. Okay. Is that pineapple house, is that a previous resident was SpongeBob? Just had to ask. Old Lady Fish said, cichlid meeting time at work though. Have a good one, guys. Yep, Old Lady Fish, I get it. You got to work. No problem. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you can make the next one and hang around next time. Gabriel said they are stunning. Gabriel might be referring to the fest day. I'm not sure, but I appreciate it. Jay Smith said, not Central South American related, but have you ever seen a Polini or bleaker eye starry night cichlid with absolutely no stars? A friend offered me one at about 3 inches. It's completely black, just no stars. That's interesting. You know, I don't know much about them at all. Never kept them. Maybe someone else can answer here. But you never know, right? I mean, you see Trimax out there with no markings, no flower markings. It can happen. So, you know, if it's anything like that, I wouldn't be surprised. Gabriel said, we are currently running 6 boxes. 6 boxes meaning 6 different tanks, Gabriel? Just curious. Yeah, wow, that 48 years Pelham's Aquatics been keeping cichlids. That's quite aggressive or impressive. Very addictive hobby, I have to agree. Hats off to you there. I don't think I come even close to that. You know, I kept them when I was younger. You know, when I was, I think, 10 years old. I had like 3 tanks in my room growing up. Maybe to the age of late teens. And got out of it and got back into it maybe 9-10 years ago. When I was able to finally get this house, I was really able to step it up and do a lot of things, get a lot more tanks, plan it properly, even get some above ground tubs or ponds in the backyard. So, been a fun journey. I don't think I'm going to be able to expand anymore. I don't have any immediate monster tank dreams or changing things up. I'm pretty content where I'm at right now. I imagine maybe you're the same after 48 years. Not really sure. Yeah, Gabriel said 6 different glass boxes. How many, what size, maybe you can state in gallons. What size tanks you got there, Gabriel? Just out of curiosity. And also, what do you have any future plans of increasing that number or even the tank sizes? Pelham said, was 10 and got my first 10 on my birthday. Got a pair of pink convicts, spawned 2 weeks later. And here we are, 2022. Yeah, convicts. I mean, how many people were convicts the species that really got you into cichlid keeping? That's what I'm curious of, because one is kind of availability in the hobby, right? I think convicts have always been available, at least for me, I feel, have been readily available at most fish shops for a long time. They price-wise, they've been really cheap, easy to start out with them. They really look cool. They stay small. You can do them in some smaller tanks, and super easy to breed. You know, I didn't even have breeding as a goal when I got them. You know, I just got some, and they spawned. And the first spawn I ever, you know, accidentally had, it was just amazing. You know, the life, creating of new life. You know, I wanted every fry to survive. I was just, I was amazed by it, you know, and then you take that, you know, amazing thing and try to apply it to other species, you know, some more difficult, some more colorful, and just such a fun list of challenges to try to breed different species, and even not just the breeding part, but growing out the fry, you know, having the patience and giving the care to grow some out from little tiny speck, you know, fry to from wigglers to adults. For me, that's where it's at. You know, I love that. You know, I really love that period where it's, you know, where they're before they color up to coloring up and starting to develop and pair off. That's a blast. That's my favorite. Not sure what everybody else favorite part of the hobby is. Yeah, lots of cichlids in between sits. I'm sure you've had 10, 20, 100 times more than me. I don't really venture out a whole lot. You know, I see new species, you know, in the hobby. If it doesn't really attract me, or I don't have to get them, I usually don't just get them because they're new or rare, you know. I got to be interested in them, you know, for me. And to each their own, you know, obviously. But, you know, I like to keep what I love. You know, occasionally I'll try some new species, which I think is a good segue into our discussion topic, right? New species on your list. We've talked about this before. I think the last time we talked about was, let's phrase it in the same way. Let me hear the top 3 species on your list that, if we're available now, you would get them today. You would find a way to make room, right? You know, I got how many tanks I got here? 6, 8 tanks with Feste in them. If I were offered true ornatum, right, Mesoheros ornatum, I would have to clear a tank out. I would cram 2 different size fry in together or fish together somehow to make a tank ready to take on those ornatum. That would be one of my number 1 species that I want to take in. So let's do that again, guys. We've done that in the past. Let me hear your top 3 species that you are that serious about getting. If you were offered them today, you would 100% make room to get them today. Since I posed the question, I'll answer it all the way through. I told you my top, which was number 1, the ornatum. If I could find some of those, obviously, I think I would have to try them. And the main reason, you know, I've never kept them. I don't even know if I'll like them. I think that from some of the limited pictures I've seen, they look very beautiful, like Japhirum. And I've kept Japhirum before, and they're amazing, beautiful fish. They're also Mesoheros, like Feste. I really like them. And so, for all those reasons, they would be on my list. Number 2, I've spoken of them in the past. And I just talked about them earlier. I've never kept Jack Dempsey's, but I think with the blood that's in the hobby, I would jump on wild caught Jack Dempsey's if I was offered them right now. I feel like, you know, I definitely need to try that species for myself, even though it is a common species. But I would want to do something with, you know, with the intent of distributing some F1 blood into the hobby, get some new blood out there, you know, and maybe do some good, you know, for the species. Number 3, I'm gonna have to think of number 3 on the fly because I don't really have one off the top of my head. What would number 3 be? I'm gonna come back to that, but hopefully some of you guys can answer the question on your top 3 species that you would get right now if you had that chance. There's my discussion topic. I didn't see another one topic, but we can always do multiple at a given time, so don't hold back. Pelham said 1974 pink convicts were in fashion. That sounds cool. The fashionable pink convicts. Gabriel said, I asked Gabriel on his 6 tanks that he has, what size were they? He's got a 3-gallon snail box, 2 10-gallons, a 20 long, 25-gallon hex, 24 inch tall, and a 38.5-gallon, 24-inch tall. I would likely bigger and better eventually. Yeah, Gabriel, I think that's going to be your biggest change going forward. If you do have those plans and if you have the space, is for the cichlids we like to keep, the North Central South American cichlids, tank space, right? You're gonna have to do some bigger tanks if you really want to keep them. Now, you could do some smaller species in that 38-gallon, maybe 20 long, but you kind of very limited on what you could do, right? I'm sure you already realize that. And if you want to do some breeding, maybe you keep those tanks and those end up being the fry tanks, maybe at the bottom of the racks, who knows? But maybe you're gonna think about getting a 75 at some point. 75 is a pretty cool size, very standard, very cheap tank here that you can get, not break the bank. Has 18 inches in width. I think it's really good sized tank, 75 gallons. So that might be your next step up, who knows? Gundy 718 said, a convict was my first cichlid. Yeah, Gundy, that's I'm not sure that was my first one, but it was my first one that really hooked me with the breeding aspect of keeping cichlids. And I think a lot of people was the same situation, I would have to guess. I think my first cichlid was actually an Oscar. And I had a Texas cichlid right around the same time, and then convicts. So those are all obviously in the hobby. Still great fish, great starting species to give it a shot, and they definitely it worked on me. I got hooked. Phelim said, breeding cichlids made it a new ball game. Yep. That breeding, that magic that happens, and I think a lot of times when people want to try a new species, they're thinking along the lines, sometimes people try to get my fry and they just want to try Carpentis, for example. They just want to get a couple of them, a couple fry. And I always try, if they want my advice, I always try to give it, as best as possible. But, you see some of the best behavior. Maybe Carpentis isn't a great example, but Feste, Red Terrors, you see some of the best coloration with breeding pairs, right? I feel where they're going to display at their peak. You see the best of their behavior. If you can get a pair and get them protecting their fry, I really think if you can make that your goal, and you should try to make it your goal, because you're gonna get a lot more out of it, and it's gonna be a lot better for you than just to get start out with 2 or 3 fry, and likely those fry are going to kill each other off through the growing out process. You probably end up with 1 fish, and then you got 1 Feste who can be very shy in a tank and probably won't color up, to where it could if it were paired up, breeding. So the breeding to me is where it's at, that to me is my goal with just about every species that I keep. I don't think I keep any species just to have a wet pet. I don't keep any species to have them, as a, dither. I have, but I don't normally. It's just not for me. The breeding thing is really hooks me. Gabriel said his first cichlid was a Jack Dempsey. That's awesome. I'm sure that's a good answer for most people. First cichlid. Pelham said, not really. I've had a decent share. I think you've kept more for sure. Yeah, Pelham, I don't, I talk a lot with my fish buddies who have similar size fish rooms, and God, some of them have 3 times as many species as I do. But they also mix. They do a lot of mixed tanks, so they can put 5 or 6 different species in one big tank, and that's just not my thing. I don't really do that, I want to see I want to see a single species to its potential, and when it can't be dominant in a tank and pairing and breeding, to me, I don't really get to see its true, its utmost beauty. And so for me, I usually just do species only tanks for the most part. It's just my strategy. Gabriel said, videos available on his channel. Guys, go check him out. Check out Gabriel's YouTube channel. Give him a like and subscribe there. And Gabriel, I'll have to try to remember to check your channel out as well. Thanks for sharing that. Jay said, I like many with cons, so easy to breed. All you need is a male, female, and a wet sponge. Yeah, convicts, all you really need is a bucket, some water, and add the fish, right? Probably wouldn't turn out too well past a certain point, but yeah, it can happen. Convicts. And, a lot of people use convicts, right, I see for dithers with some bigger aggressive fish. Convicts are pretty tough and kind of hold their own, and they're small. Don't take a ton of space if you're focused on another species. So it's not a bad idea. I haven't tried it myself, but pretty interesting. Wallace said, what happened to the lion side? Good question, Wallace. Well, I think it's been about 6 years since I've kept them, I think. Yeah, about 6 years. I really liked them. They were, I think, and I haven't kept a lot of Amphilophus, I think they were a very mild Amphilophus species from my experience. At least way more mild than Trimax. I had that pair, which I loved, and I used to keep them in a tank, and I would literally throw in 1-inch fry, many different species of fry with them to grow them out in there with a 10-inch male and a 7-inch female pair of lion side. And they wouldn't touch the fish. They were incredibly gentle. Even through the few spawns that I had with them, they were not aggressive towards the other fish. So that was my experience, and I have grown out multiple batches. Honestly, I kind of got out of them at some point. It's definitely one that I could see being on my list again at some point. Very beautiful fish. So that's what happened with my lion's eye. I got rid of them. I moved them. Maybe I shouldn't have. Gabriel said, shell dwellers, multis, Geo Alto, the Alto Sinu, I think it is. Not sure of the third. Okay, so Gabriel's answering, I think, his top 3 species or fish that he would get today if we're offered them. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, those I think they're Altocino, Geophagus. I'm not really a Geophagus guy, but those seem pretty darn cool. And again, I don't know much about Geophagus, but are they somewhat similar in look to the Pellegrini, Geophagus Pellegrini? I'm not really sure if I'm thinking of the right ones, but I thought they looked pretty cool for sure. Thanks for answering that. Okay, Jay Smith, here's his list. He answered top 3 species he would get today if given the chance. Marbled Fenestratus, Xanthic Jag, solid white, no red or orange, Midas. All right, there you go. I like that list. Yeah, the marbled fens, those are pretty. And the Jags, and of course, if you're an Amphilophus fan, I'm sure you got Midas either in your tanks or you're thinking about adding them at any point. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing your list, Jay. Phelim said, would also love a nice pair of barred Midas. There you go, barred Midas. Man, the Amphilophus stuff, I really think, with a lot of species, it's just a phase. You're going to like probably most of the cichlid species at some point in your life, right? I really think that. At one point, I just didn't think the Festae was nice at all. I wasn't interested in keeping Festae for many years. Now I got, God, my number one species. I devote the most tanks towards them, and I can't get enough of them, even to this day. I'm supposed to get more fry from a buddy from a different population of Festae. Out of all the Festae I have, I'm getting more this coming week. So that Festae were a fish that I never attracted me before. So I could definitely see at some point I might be a total Amphilophus fanatic, which I'm not right now. So I do have Trimax though, but barred Midas, maybe that's going to be the one. We'll see. Matt Hernandez said his number one is probably still Sajica. Those are cool. I like those a lot. I've heard they have some sensitivity issues, bloat, I forgot what, you can lose them. But that's definitely something that I can see keeping up at some point. Said F1 or F2 with a catch location. There you go, very important. Don't know why, but the Sajica just catch my eye. Yeah, Matt, I'm with you on that. I kept the Panamensis. I had some Nataludia for a short time. My buddy's got a ton of them. If you guys are interested in Nataludia, I got my buddy. I think he calls himself Super Cichlids. But anyways, I've done a fish room update. Really close friend of mine. I can ship out his fish. He doesn't ship himself. I can ship out Nataludia. He's got fry, I think 1 to 2 inches, if I'm not mistaken. And I've seen his breeders many times. Let me know if you're looking for those. But yeah, Sajica, I keep telling him because he likes those smaller species, the Thrictus and Cryptoheros and that kind of stuff. I keep telling him, yeah, you got to try Sajica eventually, and I think he might. So that's a good species right there, Matt. Hey, what's up? Jay Feste's in the house. Jay said, hey, Doja, my 3 are all species specific to Guianacara, Gaia, I can never say that right, Dracara, and I'm not going to say that last one. I know those species though, and those are pretty darn cool. I think too. Can you answer this, Jay? Do you know if those species have require some more strict water parameters, like maybe some softer water, lower pH? Do they have any sensitivity issues, bloat, whatnot? The reason I ask is I've definitely seen them, and I thought to myself I would like to keep them at some point. I'm just wondering. I don't know a lot about them if they have some kind of issues like that. I've mentioned many times, my water is super hard, and pH is like 8.2 out of tap. Some species just don't do well here. So I really have to kind of pick and choose so I don't fall on my face and just really regret diving into species that might be really sensitive, you know? So I'd be curious, maybe if someone else knows too, might help both of us. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, I got the voice thing. I'm gonna drink a little water. Be right back. Yeah, Jay, Feste, with that's really cool, those three. It's really, you actually got me thinking now here. Anytime someone sparks something in a species that got me interested, you got to do everything possible not to just like say I got to have them now, you know. But yeah, I've seen them available here and there. I think even maybe Tangle Up and Cichlids might have had some. I can't remember. Maybe they do right now. If someone can correct me. But yeah, that's a good list you got there. Check out Tangle Up and Cichlids. Someone who's on their computer, I wonder if they have any of those three species that Jay Feste just mentioned. Gabriel said, "Are you familiar with the giraffe cichlids? I'm watching one of my female convict toss gravel." I'm not familiar with the giraffe cichlids. I'm not sure what your question was on them. Maybe someone else here. I'm sure someone else here has probably kept them. We'll see. What's up, Don? Don Mitchell in the house. Don said, "What's good with you? And what you got now?" Don, you know, just doing my thing here. Not a whole lot of new species, but you know, got my normal stock list. Pretty much the same stuff. Yeah, we're just talking about a topic. I think it's a good one. The top three species on your list that you got to have them. Meaning, if you were offered them today, you would make space to keep them right now. That's how serious it is, right? So, feel free to answer, Don. Maybe someone will chime in and, you know, say, "Hey, I got those available," you know, and then maybe your wish can come true. I think we've actually even had some big vendors here, breeders, importers here. I think Kevin from Tangle Up and Cichlids has showed up to one or two of these live sessions. That was pretty cool of him. I really like Kevin and his business, so go check him out. I have a buddy named Eric, Fin Addicts Aquatics, who does a lot of importing, gets a lot of wild caught fish. He's been in here plenty of times. Really good buddy of mine. I got my Rio Gaius Feste from him originally. He gets a lot of good stuff. So networking is another positive thing we get out of these conversations. So don't feel shy to speak up if you got something that's on someone's list. Maybe we can put you guys together. Fill someone's species off, knock a species off someone's list. Subdue Yang, only have one on my list at the moment. The Nanoluteus. Hey, I just mentioned, I'm not sure where you're located, but my buddy breeds Nanoluteus, and he's got plenty of fry available. I think they're 1 to 2 inches. Seen his videos. I've even done a fish room update video of him when I went to go visit. Mike's Cichlids, it's called. You know, that was a ways back. But I know he has plenty of fry, and I can ship them for him. So message me if you're interested, or leave me a comment here. I'm gonna have to make Mike show up at one of these live videos eventually. YouTube username said, Jay Smith, I have some xanthic jag fry and they take forever to grow. Oh wow, that's good to know. I wonder why that's the case. Is it something with the genetics of the xanthic gene or whatever it is? That's pretty interesting. Speak up if you guys know more about that. Gabriel's, okay, Gabriel clarified, not the Alto Sinu, the Geophagus altifrons. And funny you mentioned that. I'm not just sitting here trying to plug my good friend here, but that's the other species that he breeds, is the Geophagus altifrons. I'm not sure if he's got fry. I think he has fry right now, but I know his fry were giving him really small batches. Maybe that's a Geophagus thing. But he was getting, I think he might have fry. I'm not sure if they're available. So if you're interested, let me know, guys. And I think the third species that he breeds are rainbow cichlids. I really like his rainbows too. They look really pretty. So he doesn't ship himself, but he comes by, he can drop them off and I can ship them out for him. I usually add them with some of my fish in the box. You know, it's kind of how we work out the arrangement. But let me know, guys. Want to make sure everybody's getting their species that they can't find at their, you know, wherever they are, or local fish shops. Leonard Penn, what's up, Leonard? How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Leonard said, when you getting umbies? Leonard, umbies I kept maybe 7 years ago, 7 to 10 years ago. I really love them. I like them a lot. One of my pairs, the male got to like 17 inches, and he got to that size from 1 inch fry in less than 2 years. So for that reason, I made the decision, you know, based on how big he was too. I had him in a 180 gallon tank, right? 24 inches wide. This umbi can get 24 inches. I did not feel comfortable with a 24 inch fish, or even a 20 inch fish in a 24 inch wide tank. To me, it seemed a little bit too small of a tank. I have a 240 gallon tank, but that also has the same limitations. It's 24 inches wide. So for me, umbies won't return until I get a monster tank, at least a 3 foot width tank. Unfortunately, they're fish that get so big that I don't feel comfortable keeping them. I think the Feste, being that some of the males can get to 17 inches, that's probably the limit of the size, you know, based on the species that I'll probably keep. Yeah, that's kind of my answer. I did think about keeping umbies just for short periods of time, grow them, you know, for 2 years, you know, up until that point, and then I get rid of them, you know, keep growing them out, getting rid of them, because I really love that part where their color transformation. But I haven't done that, you know. I thought about it, but, you know, maybe I'll do that. But I definitely can't keep them for life. I wish there was an umbi that stayed a little smaller. To me, that would have, you know, then I'd probably have them right now. But they just get a little too big for my tanks. Pelham's Aquatic said, got a split mat. Thanks, enjoyed it very much. Here's this list, guys. Criboheros longimanus, Thrictis passiones, and Vieas bifasciatus, the Chacomax. Those are awesome. I definitely can see myself keeping them. I have kept the passiones before. I would like to keep them again. I love the Thrictis. And then, of course, the bifasciatus. Oh, those are very pretty. Great list. Thanks for stopping by, Pelham. Matt Hernandez said, saw that wild-caught Feste, female Feste on your Instagram, Matt. Man, the reds on that female look crazy. Hey, thanks, Matt. Matt, actually, that fish was, that was about 2 years ago, I think. And this is the same fish. She's not out, so you're not going to see her. But we were just looking at her. Where did she go? Oh, there she is. This is the same fish. She is all grown up now. Has bred for me countless times. And she's part of probably my favorite pair of red terrors that I've ever had. She was just out earlier. And yeah, same fish. So that video, I think she was about 4 inches. And here she's, I can't get a good picture of her. Here she's about 10, maybe, yeah, maybe about 10 inches. Much bigger fish now. All right. Thank you, though, for the comments. Yeah, I love, man, those festae. Hard to beat those. And most people will, I think, will say, you know, it's hard to beat a female festae in particular. And I can't disagree with that. But don't forget about the males with that gold yellowish coloration. I just think they're fantastic. Richard Mason's in the house. Richard said, hey, Matt, everyone, he's fashionably late again. Richard, there's no late. I just appreciate you guys stopping by, even if it's only for a minute, even if it's at the very end of the session. Doesn't matter to me. Thank you for signing in here just to join the cichlid discussion, even if it's a short period of time. Appreciate it. And for anybody who just joined, our only discussion topic right now, I think, is what 3 species, name the top 3 species on your cichlid list that you would have to have. Meaning, if you were offered it today, you would make space to keep them. That's how bad you want them, right? And we've had multiple people answer. I gave 2 species, I think. The True Ornatum, because I'm a Mesoheros fan, wild-caught Jack Dempsey's, and I'm struggling to think of a third. I'm really struggling. I haven't thought of one yet. If I do, I'll let you guys know. All right, Philip Skipper, what's up, Philip? Philip said, I just got a 75 and I'm gonna put a Severum and blood parrot. Anything else you recommend? You know, Philip, I'm sure others in here might be able to chime in and give you better advice. I actually have not kept Severums. I haven't kept blood parrots. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think maybe the Severum might be a little bit more mild of a species. I'm not sure how the blood parrot would go with them. But another thing that I thought of, when I try to do cichlids, maybe because I keep more aggressive ones, I try to do bigger groups. I try to do at least an 8 fish group. And I'm not sure how big the Severum's going to get, or the blood parrot. I'm not sure if that's possible in a 75 or not. But if there's, you know, the chance of aggression, having a bigger group might actually help you. So might be something to consider. Maybe you don't even do, maybe you do some ditherfish. Maybe you do some silver dollars. Who knows? Just something to think about and do some research. But maybe someone else can give you some advice on that mix, Severums and blood parrots. Thanks for the question, though. Don Mitchell said, send it to me. Don, what are you referring to? Are you referring to a stock list? I think that's what you're referring to. Maybe you can clarify, Don. Infidel, what's up, bud? Infidel said, why no flower horns? I don't know, Infidel. It's kind of like the same reason why I don't have, 20, 50 other species. It's limited tanks. I think we all have that issue, right? You can only have so many tanks and maintenance them. and so that means you can only have X number of fish or X number of species. In particular, why wouldn't flower horns be on my top? I don't really know. You know, I just I know that I love a lot of these species I have right now. I have just about everything I've had for a while. I love them. You know, every now and then I see something new that catches my eye. Maybe I got to have them, but I got what I got right now, and I like them. Flower horns are pretty, very pretty fish. You can't deny that. You know, they got a lot of amazing coloration. Just not on the top of what I want to keep right now. So I hope that answers it. Wallace said 5-star general over convicts, 75 gallon. Or convicts? Wallace might have meant, are you asking, should you keep 5-star general or convicts in a 75 gallon? Might be your question. Sorry if I misunderstood it. YouTube username said Red Bay Snook. Okay, these are his, I think his top 3 on his list. Red Bay Snook, albino albino firemouth. That's pretty cool. I've seen some of those, and I keep telling my buddy Mike, who likes those type of smaller species, that he's got to get some of them. I've seen a few occasions where they pop up, and you know, and I was like, man, those are really, really neat, very unique. Also, here's topic number 2. Very similar to the electric blue Jack Dempsey conversation we had, I think a few months ago. Are albino firemouths, are those pure, Miki? Pure firemouth species, or are those hybrids? Let me know what you guys think or know. I really don't know. I just assume, you know, it's kind of maybe somewhat like albinos for other species, maybe like a red doveye, something like that, where it's could be naturally occurring. Who knows? I'd like to learn. Let me know. Let me know your feedback there. But to complete your list, after albino firemouths, you said breeding size female Aslanum. There you go. Yeah, Aslanum, man, those are the red they get. They get even some blue and green on the face. They're beautiful fish. Aggression-wise, that's another story. That's can be incredibly frustrating. But I like your list a lot, and I'm really curious about the albino firemouths. Those are badass. Jay Fetze said that might be why they are so hard to find. I see them pictured with Geophagus and other this is in reference to his top 3 fish. And Jay, it looks like no one has piped up about where you could find some of those species. I'm not sure if anybody got to look at Tangle Up and Cichlid's stock list. I thought I saw one of those on there not too long ago. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a different species. But you also said see them pictured with Geophagus and other milder semi-aggressive species. Posts of these fish aren't very recent. Videos going back 8 to 10 years ago on YouTube. Yeah, that Jay, I feel your pain, man. It's so frustrating when you see something and really you're like, man, I gotta have them. You can't find them. You got limited information on them. Oh, you know. Somewhat reminds me of when I wanted to get my Stalsberg eye, my True Green Terrors. Just could not find them anywhere. I really hope they pop up more, and maybe you can get lucky. Maybe a Christmas present for you, Jay. That would be really cool to see some of those in your hands. I hope you get them. Shakur Shabazz, thanks for stopping by first and foremost. Sorry if I butchered your name. Yes, do you have F1 Feste fry? Yes, I do. They're small. I think 3/4 of an inch average. But feel free to message me, Facebook, Instagram, or comment in a video, and I'll give you my email, or we'll get in contact. I do have some F1 fry off of those wild caught parents that you just saw. So, Garcia Aquatics, what's up? How you doing, man? Thanks for joining. He asked how everyone's doing. I'm doing pretty good. My voice is the one wild card here. It's just coming back now, but I couldn't even speak last week. So I guess I'm doing better, relatively speaking. Richard said, the thing about the xanthic growing slower is true. At least my red spot severums are growing way slower than my turquoise. Okay, that's interesting. Wonder what the reason for that is. It's pretty cool. Ray Lorenzo said, hey Matt, I just in 2-inch, I just maybe got a 2-inch black nasty and he already has a hump on his head. That's pretty darn cool. You know, Ray, I have seen, I think, I forgot one population of those black nasties, the Haitiensis, they got a real big nuchal hump, you know, and then some don't get it as much, but I'm wondering which of the variants you have, but nonetheless, congrats on your new pickup. Sounds like a fun species. I would like to try Haitiensis at some point. For me, the bloat situation kind of turned me off in the past. I know that they can struggle with bloat, and you know, that shouldn't stop me from trying, but I think I'll probably get them at some point, hopefully be in the near future, but that's pretty cool. Congrats on the pickup, Ray. Lucky Luke, what's up? Luke said, absolutely love your fest stand. Been watching them for years on Facebook. Nice to see your setups. Sorry, a little late to YouTube. Thank you very much, Luke, for the kind words. And don't ever worry about being late. This is just, I try to do these for 2 hours with the hopes that maybe people can catch them, you know, here and there, and show up at some point. Doesn't have to be the whole thing, but I really appreciate stopping by nonetheless, even if it's just for a minute. So hopefully you understand the topic. We're just talking about our top 3 species on our list that we have to have if we could get them today. So free to let us know what your top 3 are. I still haven't thought of my third. Got my 1 and 2. Jay Feste said, French Guiana, is that how you pronounce them? Is location point for the Gaia, aka bandit cichlid. Yeah, I'm familiar with the bandit. It's just the scientific names I struggle with. If anybody has them, ask them to chime in. Yeah, please chime in, guys. Jay needs help locating a species, or actually 3 of them, I think, from his list. So if anybody knows, please speak up. Jay said, bro, and I just got to tell you, the shipment of Festa you sent me, that was one of the most professional packing of fish since my days ordering from Max Cichlids when he was around. Awesome job, man. Thank you. Really appreciate that, Jay. I do my best. I also really appreciate, you know, anything I screw up on gives me the chance to reflect and improve. You know, we all can do better. So, but that's really good to hear, Jay, and I hope they do well with you. Can't wait to see them growing out. Yeah, I'm glad to hear some of my shipping's working. I think I got it down pretty decent. I started using 96-hour heat packs, even though most of my shipments are overnight, but I still use them. Because, you know, those 96-hour versus a 72, you could feel the difference in heat. It's just a bigger heat pack. It's warmer. You know, I think I got like a giant 200 pack box of those 96-hour heat packs. They're not cheap at all. But I think the better to be safe than sorry with the fish, you know? And they've been doing really well since that I've been using them. So I basically don't even need to stop during winter. You know, I ship all the way through. So let me know if you guys are interested. Fernando Turner, Aquarium Hobby Master. Brenda, I wish that were the case. I think I'm far from a master, not even close. I'm on a level I'm just trying to learn, you know, and I think some others are here, and we're all just here to learn from each other. Thank you for stopping by, though. Really appreciate it. Feel free to let us know if you got a list of 3 species that you got to have, cichlid species. I'm sure everybody would like to hear about them. Philip, Skipper said, does anyone know the actual size of Severum? Because I keep getting inconsistent sizes. There's a good question. I know nothing about that. I've never kept Severum. I think a lot of them are really beautiful. I probably should consider it at some point. Are Severums, do they require a softer water? Like, I think Uaru, right? The panda Uarus and whatnot. I think I've heard specifically about those that they get hole in the head if you have too hard of water or pH is too high. I wonder how Severums are, because aren't Severums from South America too? So I don't know. I could be mistaken, but curious on those. Fernando Turner said Flowerhorn has to have the aquarium all to themselves. Yeah, that's a good point. I think I've seen that. You know, those flower horns or even red Texas, right? I don't see those in pairs or colonies and groups. They may be a little bit too aggressive. Correct me if I'm wrong there, guys. I don't know a whole lot about them. All right, Richard Mason. Here's his list. Rio Blanco Benai. I like it. There you go. Japhirum. Very nice. I highly approve of them. And Andino Akara Stalsbergi would be a good start. Richard, I love your list. I currently have Stalsbergi. You know, I got their fry available, running out though. I do miss keeping Mesohirus Japhirum. I'm going to keep them again someday. It was a species that required a lot of patience. I think I kept them for 6 years. You guys can go check out some of my older videos, and they're just fantastic. Coloration, just very impressive. Where I think a lot of people fail is the patience required to keep them. The absolute slowest growing species by a long shot. I've kept Gramotes. Gramotes grew fast compared to my Japhirums. So that'll put things in perspective. You know, I always like to start with small fry when I start with any species, but Japhirus might be the one exception to that rule for me. I might want to start with like 3 to 4 inchers, to be honest with you. So if anybody's looking for those, my buddy Eric has got them, and I think he's got some wild caughts. So he shows up in a lot of these videos. Message me if you need his contact info. But really like your list there, and thank you for sharing that. The Cichlid Hoarder, Juan's in the house. What's up, man? How you doing? Juan is a guy who imports wild caughts, has kept a ton of species. Juan, I'm not sure if you heard our topic, our discussion topic, but I'd be really interested to hear what your answers are. Here it is. It's the top 3 species that you would keep, you would get right now if you were offered them. Basically, what would you know, you'd be willing to do anything to get these 3 species. You know, I answered 2 of my 3. One of them being the wild-caught Jack Dempsey's. Hint, hint. Number 2 would be the True Ornatum. I want to hear from you, Juan. What are your top 3? We had a number of people already answer, but Juan and everybody else, let's hear your answer there, guys. Onyx Games, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. Onyx said, have you ever kept Electric Blue Jack Dempsey? I wish I was there for the convo. Yeah, Onyx, we could talk about it here too, although I think it was about 3 or 4 live videos ago where that was the topic, which was electric blue Jack Dempsey's. Basically, are they pure species or are they hybrids? And explain why. It doesn't have to be evidence, but explain why you lean one way or the other, why you think one way. And I heard a lot of cases made for both sides. So, I think it's a hot topic. It can be very controversial in the hobby, but we're all pretty respectful here. So I think it's a healthy discussion. So that's basically the gist of it. Richard Mason said, Jay, I'll second that on match shipping. Thank you again, Richard and Jay. Really appreciate that. Do my best with the shipping. Appreciate the feedback. It helps me know that, maybe what I'm doing is working okay. So thank you for that. Jay Smith said, Severums and blood parrots go well together. Okay, there's an answer. We had that question about stocking. I think it was a 75-gallon tank. There you go. Maybe get multiple of those. I don't know how many you can keep comfortably in that size tank, but maybe that's a good answer, or that should help you. Jay Smith said, I had a red spot male Severum breed with a blood parrot. Wow. Got eggs, no fry. I think blood parrots have Severum blood. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure how the blood parrots were created, but they're maybe similar size type fish. I'm not really sure. It's definitely not my expertise, but it's something I'm curious about. Roger Nielsen said, too many wants to have a top 3. Ain't that the truth, Roger? I definitely see that. So it's hard to draw that line, right? I mean, if I could have an unlimited tank fish room, let's just say unlimited, and I didn't have to do the maintenance, I could just pick and choose which species I kept. Yeah, it would be probably every species that exists. So you can make a case that every species I don't have would be on my list, and that would be just way too many to count. So I understand completely. Philip Skipper said, I have a yellow and green Severum and are still quite small, but my green barely grows. Okay, interesting. Maybe someone can provide some advice there. Not sure about Severum growth rates. Lucky Luke has 3 species he would definitely get today if he were offered them. He said Feste, Birchers, I always say that wrong, and Cubans. Well, I highly approve of your number 1. And Cubans I also keep. I love them. And yeah, I think it's a great list. I hope you get some Feste in your life soon. I think it's a crime not to have them. I'm just being biased. I love Feste. Richard Mason said, my Severum are in rock hard water with no issues yet. They are only 4 inches at this time. That's good to hear, Richard. Maybe gives me some hope that I can keep them in my rock hard water as well. I've even heard the phrase, my water is like liquid cement. That's how hard it is. So I really have to be careful of which species I take. YouTube username said, any tips on speeding up Gramody's growth? Yeah, I think that's a tough one. I think two factors, this is just my take. I think 2 factors play in there. One is the species itself is slow growing, right? And that species, you gotta remember, it's not a species that gets huge. I don't know what the largest Gramody is, Maybe someone can chime in. 10 inches. You know, it's not a feste. It's not an umbi. So, you know, it's going to appear to have slower growth rate, period. But it does really grow slower. I agree with you. You know, probably genetics. But another thing I think plays into it is how skittish and shy they are. I think a good example is, you know, if you get some fry, you know, let's say you get a group of 5 feste fry, and you have them in a tank, you know, I almost guarantee you they're going to be very skittish and shy and be hiding a lot, right? And, you know, maybe when no one's around, you'll see them picking on some food. But I think it's very different than if you have maybe a big group of feste. Like I try to do when I'm growing out fry, groups of 20 or more. When you have the numbers, you know, you have the power of numbers, and you got the competition for food, right? Basically every fish is trying to outcompete more for food, and you got so many more fish that they're more comfortable swimming around, especially if you got some like dithers. Maybe you got silver dollars, tetras. You got a lot of fish that are swimming maybe in the mid to top portion of your water column. The skittish fish are going to be less skittish. And I think if they're less skittish, they're going to be more inclined to eat more and fight for food more. So I guess where I'm going is I think it might be a combination of two things: the Grammodi's genetically being slow growing and possibly being very shy, a very shy fish. And if you can somehow break that shyness, maybe it'll speed up the growth. And this is, of course, assuming you're doing the other things, the standard things well, which is water changes, right? Good diet, you know, you got a good, hiding spaces. You got a good tank setup for them to survive. So that's just my advice. I haven't kept Grammodi's very long, but they were shy for me, and I always think back to that. I didn't have many of them in the tank. You know, I think I had 2 pairs, and they were always hiding all the time. And if I were to do them again, I would probably keep a bigger group, at least to start with. I'd probably use one of my 120 gallon or maybe my 150 gallon and do a bunch of them. I'd probably do 20 or 25 fry to start, and really try to get the colony going. Really try to, maybe I'll throw some silver dollar dithers and really try to get them, you know, competing for food, and do really big water changes. And, you know, maybe that would help, maybe not, who knows. But that's just my advice. Maybe someone else can give you some better information there. Beaker said, is someone bringing in wild electric blue jack? You know, I haven't heard about that. Not electric blue. That was actually one of the points in our previous month live video topics, which was are electric blue jack Dempsey's wild, are pure, or are they hybrids? And one of the points made, you know, stating that, you know, they're more likely hybrids is you don't hear or see about collection points of electric blue jack Dempsey's in the hobby. You know, if they're from the wild, then which collection point are they from? Or you don't hear about that information as much. The red dovi, for example, you know, they actually were collected in the wild at a specific collection point. I think they were somewhere in Costa Rica. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so, you know, you can kind of limit. That's one thing you can use to gauge, but that's just one thing. It's not going to tell you the answer. So I haven't heard about any wild electric blue jack Dempsey's. To answer your question, I was referring to, on my wish list, was regular Jack Dempsey's. If I got some wild ones, I would definitely jump on them. All right, Mujahid, the Magnificent One, a long time Looking good. I so admire your aquarium's fish. Thanks for sharing. Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And again, guys, if you guys want to go see different fish in here, let me know. We're just kind of on a tripod on the Blue Texas. But we got a pretty good conversation here, so I'm not upset about that. Onyx Games said, I would be really interested to know if anyone was even breeding electric blue Jack Dempseys. Apparently the originator is no longer doing it. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about that, to be honest. So can't really answer that. Jay Fessy said, you're right, Matt. I'm gonna say that wrong. Are in fact on Tangle Up at Cichlids. Thanks for the tip. You're welcome, Jay. I could have sworn I saw one of those species, if not more, on his list. I hope you can jump on them and pick some up. Kevin, Tangle Up at Cichlids, I can't say enough about him. Really good guy, really supportive, and it's cool he gets a lot of these species, in and gets them on his list out to us in the hobby. Beaker said, oh no, I meant wild jacks, not electric. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, wild jacks, the regular variant, I guess you could say. That's something I definitely would like to get. So, Robles, what's up? How you doing? He said, I actually just finished catching wild Jack Dempseys. You are making me very jealous right now, Robles. Where did you catch those? Maybe you can clarify where in Mexico, or are they also found in Guatemala and other countries? I'm not really sure. I'm really interested in that. I'm really jealous of your being able to do that. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, hats off to you. Since 1988, Wallace, show me the Cubans. I'm interested. All right, yeah, we'll go down to the Cubans. Let me put a little light on them. I think you're referring to the 2 to 3 inch Cubans. They're going to be a little skittish because I just threw that light on them. But you can see the size of them, not colored up, obviously, because they're in a bare-bottomed tank, all stressed out. But you can see their sizing on them, guys. Let me know. And we went around and saw the parents a little bit ago. I'll go again, I guess. All right. There's the breeder male, big guy, and then of course the female. Not in breeding dress right now. No fry in the pot, but they're doing good. They get a little skittish right now because they got the garage door open. I got this little dep eye on the other side. She is just feisty. She or he, not really sure. But all right. Robo said located in Florida. Okay, Florida. Been catching them for years. Yeah, Rolos. I honestly think the correct terminology would be feral caught Jack Dempsey's, not wild caught. I think wild caught refers to where they're actually found. Not. I think in Florida in the canals you're referring to. They were not found there originally, so they were brought in and dumped in those canals, and then now they're thriving, right? I think they got all kinds of different species there. So I'm not sure wild caught would be the right term to be used for them. Yeah, I am definitely jealous of you guys out there in Florida doing that. That's pretty cool. I'm a fisherman myself, and if I had species like that I could go catch for fun, I would be doing that all the time. That sounds like a blast. JFS, they said, check you later, Matt. I'm out. Peace. Later, Jay. Thanks for stopping by. Trevor. What's up, Trevor? Trevor said, hey, everyone. Thanks for stopping by, Trevor. Appreciate it. Just talking about cichlids. Let me know if you have any questions, if you want to see any fish in here, and try to answer any questions. We got a lot of people that can answer questions. Only I can show you my fish. We'll go back. I'll go sit and watch the multifasciatus here for a little bit. Sorry guys, the glare is really killing these guys right now. I'm gonna try to find a tank where I don't get this glare. And let's see. This is the bigger grow out feste that I have here, and it's got that one big male that I'm really excited about. I know you guys aren't seeing any good color on these live videos, so I'll have the fish room update video here uploaded in a couple days, I think, maybe a day. But feste are my species I cannot live without, at least right now. Let's get to some questions. Onyx Game said, Robles, do you have a good location? I'm in Florida as well. Yeah, guys, go link up. Go fishing for some of those. I guess we're on them. Trevor, we'll go see the wild caughts here in a second. But Trevor, we're just looking at some of the F1 growouts. Being the biggest ones, you can see this male. You're not going to see very good colors, I think I just mentioned. Live video takes the color down, but I just did a live a fish room update video, and I just did a lighted video for these guys. So go look back at some of my YouTube videos very recently. I think I have this guy because he's a total up and comer. A lot of these are just starting to, color out, and he's not really even paired up. He's got a lot of females to choose from. I think 4 of them in here. So just trying to make them comfortable and give them options. But we'll go see the wild caughts since you're asking about the feste. All right, let's see if they're out. So, sorry for the glass being dirty. Here's the female. Maybe she'll get in the sunlight a little bit, and you can see the male. These are the wild caught Rio Gaius pair. A little skittish with the garage door open, but they're doing good. Probably due for a spawn. They're pretty consistent. They got a little tiny batch up here. Really tiny batch. Not sure what happened. This guy completely missed the mark or something, but occasionally I'll have like a 200 fry batch. But Festi are doing well. Richard Mason said, I would like to see those invasive Dempseys. There you go. I want to check them out too. It's pretty cool. I'm just jealous that you can go catch those, man. I mean, my local lakes they don't stay, obviously they get too cold during the winter. I was thinking like, man, it would be neat if I found a lake with a bunch of Texas cichlids, because I think they could take the cold, but I think there'd be a lot of other invasive fish like carp, you know, common carp and stuff that would just eat the eggs and just, they wouldn't be able to continue. Beaker said, how are the RTM and Stalsberg guy doing? Well, Beaker, I actually got rid of the RTM pair. I think I mentioned that I was going to move them. And you guys see the trailers on this female? Man, they're really long. I think that might be a good sign that the male is not too rough on the female. Usually you see the yeah, so Beaker again, and the RTM, I have some fry growing out that are not that big, and I'm going to see what happens there. Stalsberg are doing really good. I think we could try to go in here, but we may have a little struggle because they are a little bit more skittish. Let's see. There you go. And I cover them a little bit in my fish room update video, so you'll be able to see them, their colors a little better. But they're doing really good. Thanks for asking. Thanks, Trevor. Trevor said they are awesome. YouTube user saying, can you show the Aslanum pair? I haven't had an Aslanum pair in some time. The last pairs of Aslanum I had were all newly formed. I don't know if you watched my Aslanum grow out series. I basically grew out fry off of my original pair, and you know, once they hit around 3 inches, a pair would form, and they would spawn, and they would go aggro on all the other grow outs. Then I moved the pair. You know, I put them up available for people interested, and then that same thing happened, I think, about 6 times. I think I got 6 pairs out of that 20 fry grow out that I just kept chipping to people over and over. And some of the fry I have right now, I think they're all off of one of those pairs. So, yeah, I haven't had a Aslanum pair in a while. Unfortunately, really cool species. Trevor said, what sizes do you have available? For what, are you referring to the stalls, the red tears? Very small size right now, Trevor. I'd say about 3/4 of an inch average. Yeah, that's my biggest right now, in that range. Everybody wants bigger sizes, but it's I don't have the massive fry batches of some species that allow me to just grow so many of them out to bigger sizes. Roger said, my parents had a fish store in the early 70s north of Seattle. I was quite young, but kept a full tank of wild-caught Dempseys. That's pretty cool. I would love to get some of those. Hopefully they make their way back in the hobby. Ginger Dan, what's up, Ginger? Glad to catch you. Perfect timing, showing off Fest Day. Yeah, I'm on the other tears right now, but yeah, Ginger Dan's a fan of Fest Day. Let's see if I can see my other grow out Fest Day tank, because now the sun has kind of gone down. I'm gonna try to check out this male for you guys. This is my other potential male, and he's got a wild-caught female right here. I threw her in. You see that male underneath that driftwood. I was hoping they would pair up. Hasn't gone bad. Just they haven't really done much. She has a really cool like double Y on her on one side, but really nice female, and she'll get really beautiful. She has in the past. Proven breeder. I wish I could see this. Check out this male a little better. On the skittish side, you can kind of see him back there. Let's see. Jay Smith said, "Peace to you and yours, Matt. The missus has emerged with the infamous honey-do list. Best to all." Jay, I completely understand the honey-do list. I'm probably going to get that at some point. Thank you, Jay, for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Starting to see this male a little better. He's coming out a little more. So he's another one I'm got some hopes for. One of my F1s. We'll see if he becomes a permanent resident here. He's not hard on her, on that female, for sure. So there might be hope. What do you guys think? Trevor said, yes, I am. I am about a month away from getting the tank set up for them. I'm okay with a smaller size. Okay. Sounds good, man. Just let me know, Trevor, when you're ready. Trevor said, I really enjoy growing fish out. Yeah, Trevor, I'm in the same boat. I always prefer to get fry, you know, just because it's so satisfying to grow them out and whatnot. You got some others in here, some females. See how they turn out, but might have to remove them at some point. Got this other male here too. Anyways, let's go back here, guys. Starting to get a little darker here. Sun's going down. Hopefully the glare should die down too. We'll see. All right. Speak up, guys. Don't be shy. If you want to go see something, I think the natural light is going down quick, so might be limited here shortly. Ginger Dan said, Trevor said he's looking good. Thanks, Trevor. I think that was on the male Feste grow out. Ginger Dan said grow outs are looking good. Thank you, Ginger. Appreciate it. It's just so takes a lot of patience with those Feste growing those guys out. Man, I think it's been like 2 years for all those grow outs. You can see the progress. I still don't have a proven pair out of 3 different groups growing them out. It's a patience game for sure. You know, I have seen people get really lucky and get pairs at young, small sizes, and I would love to be one of those lucky guys at some point, but I haven't been yet. Trevor said, "Do you start with start them with a diddler fish really early on, or do you wait until a certain size?" You know, Trevor, I think it depends. You got to look at how the group is doing. For example, I had some Stahlsbergi fried that I was going out, and they were just very skittish. I couldn't get them to compete for food. They weren't eating very well at all, and I threw in some Buenos Aires tetras. I had like 5 of them, and I did that after I did that, they started coming out and eating a lot, because the tetras are always swimming at the top. Tetras are eaten, and it's got them basically coming up to the top of the water when I'm putting food in, and they eat it really well. They eat it really well, and I don't even have those tetras in there anymore. And so I think you want to judge how the group does, and if they need dithers, then go with them. You know, I think in the Feste case, you know, you could start with some, you know, small or medium silver dollars might be a good idea. You know, I'm a big fan of silver dollars. All the ones I got in my fish room have been here for so many years, and they're just very tough. I mean, even this tank of Carpentis, you see 2 silver dollars on each side, and they're completely fine. They're with pairs who breed. I mean, they're just really good fish to get fish out and active. So I would judge it like that, you know, and go from there. You know, definitely I would start with that group. You know, you don't want to start with 5 fish, 5 fry. You know, it's just you're going to set yourself up for likely disaster, where you're going to just lose them, get picked off, and you end up with 1 or something like that when it's finally of size. You want to have that group to help the aggression spread and to help them feel more comfortable and compete for food and all that stuff, you know? So that's my advice. Jose, what's up? Jose in the house. Thanks for stopping by. He said, hey, Matt, do you keep Plecostomus fish in any of your cichlid tanks? If so, have you found any issues with keeping plecos and cichlids tanks? You know, I think my only experience with plecos, I kept a few Bristol nose ones, and I didn't pay attention to them as much as I should have. I threw some algae wafers in there, and the cichlids probably got to them before the plecos could, and eventually the plecos died off. I probably should have done some of the veggies on a fork, goes to the bottom, right? I probably should have done something like that, but I didn't do too well, and so I don't, you know, I don't have much experience at all, and so, but I know some people do. It may not work in my situation because I'm always trying to breed, and eggs and fry, I think, would be a big target of the Plecostomus. So it wouldn't be a good idea for me anyways, even if I could figure it out. So Trevor said, interesting, I appreciate your advice. I was thinking of getting 12 or more. Yeah, that's a good number. I think at a minimum you can get away with 8. A funny story, a long time ago when I got some RTMs, Red Tiger Motas, I got 7, and they all turned out female. Every single one was a female. So I don't think that's very likely, but there's that reason as well, right? If you're trying to get a pair, you know, you need numbers. You know, it's a numbers game. And then it's not just, oh, I just need to get 1 male. What happens if that 1 male is a runt? He's never going to, you know, be dominant. He's not going to mature and grow. He's not going to, you know, win over a female. You're never going to get that pair. So, you know, it's always good to start with a number of them so that you have options. You could pick and choose, maybe looks, maybe barring, maybe whatever. Many things. You have options. It's a good thing. Trevor said, I have used the Buenos Aires Tetra in my Lil Lupi tank, and that has helped with breeding. Yeah. You know, I really like Buenos Aires Tetras, man. I just have, they do well with some species. I think they did really well with my Panamensis, and my Maculopinus. But When I had them with my Stahlsberg eye, they got killed. They got picked off. Now, it's like, okay, it's not a big thing because they ate the fish. You know, they ate a lot of them. They were bigger too, and they ate most of the fish. You know, it would have been nice to keep them alive, but yeah, they don't work with a lot of these cichlids. Silver dollars do work really well, so that's something to consider. You know, and if you're gonna do feste, yeah, silver dollars are, that's, to me, that's the way to go. I got silver dollars with just about all my feste. I mean, I don't think you see a tank without silver dollars in them. With my feste, I got them with my green terrors, got them with my big Carpentis pairs. So anyways, Trevor said, I got lucky with my Severums, bought 3 and got a solid pair, but I know that will probably never happen again. Yeah, you know, it's always possible. You know, who's to say you can't? All you need is, you know, a male and a female. You can do it with 2. It's just, what are the odds, right? I mean, I think even if you do get a male and female, you know, and feste, good example. So many groups of feste, initially the females have been bigger than the males. Like the female have been the biggest, and then it takes a little bit of work to get like a male to catch up in size. It's you know, there's a lot that could go wrong. Maybe that male doesn't like that one female that he's got. So it's good to give him options, you know, and choices. So, but it's always possible. Roger said, I started with 8 Vieja Bredori and feel that's a good number, 8 to 12. Yeah, Roger, I agree with you. 8 to 12, I always recommend, is kind of like the 8 on the low end, 12. 12 is probably going to be pretty high success rate. You know, I'm fortunate that I'm able to distribute fish, and so for me, you know, I'll usually go with 20. Because very easily I can move a lot of them if I need to, and it also gives me the option to pick and choose for my breeders. My wild-caught Rio Gaius Feste, I think I got 17 of them at 1 to 2 inches. This is about over 3 years ago, right? And you saw my wild-caught pair right now. So that male was not even top 4 as far as size of all the males in there. That male was small. He was one of the medium to smaller males in that group. And as I got a male, you know, some of them, you know, I thought maybe I can get ones with better barring, better profile, and so I would move them on. Some of them were just too difficult in aggression. They wouldn't accept a female, and so I would move them. And you know, thankfully I had a good number where I can, you know, I can be picky. And I arrived at this male that I have now who wasn't even, you know, he wasn't even top 8 of that batch for size. You know, when they got to that 4-inch size, he was smaller. And so that allowed me, the numbers allowed me to get the pair I wanted. If I only had 8 of them to start, you know, I may not even have found them, you know. So I would have had to do the whole thing over again, you know. Jay Cruz, what's up, Jay? Jay said his birthday is coming up and he needs a large male feste. Yeah, Jay, I'll definitely wish you a happy birthday on your birthday, for 1. 2, yeah, the male feste thing request is a real request, very common. God, if I had a nickel for every time someone asked me for a larger feste, I would have a lot of nickels. I got a couple of those requests today, you know, males and females. It's a common request. I understand. And it's just such a tough position I'm in because I can't keep a list of people. It would just be endless lists for every species. You know, when I do have one, I'll put it available on my YouTube. It seems like the only fair way to go about it. And you know, whoever messages me and completes the order first, I go with it. You know, it's so hard for me to play favorites, you know. So, but I really want to see one in your hands for your birthday. Yeah, you got a lot of nickels. That's definitely going to help. Gabriel said, thank you for the advice and the information. I will be in touch about those Geo Ultrafronts. Yeah, my buddy who's got them, let me know. I think he's got Ultrafront Fry. And I really appreciate Gabriel. You have a great night, Gabriel. Thanks for stopping by. Jose said, hey, Matt, can we take a look at your Trimax? Thank you. Yeah, as you know, I don't actually have my pair anymore. And also, it's going to be really hard to see. The sun has gone down. In addition, these grow outs are extremely skittish. I don't know that you're going to be able to see much here, but these are the bigger ones that I'm growing out. You're really not going to be able to see much. If I turn the lights on, they're just going to completely hide. So, yeah, we've run to near the end of this video. We're not going to be able to see fish very well. But you can see I grew out some bigger ones, and I recently moved them. And I put them on my pages. And, you know, they all seem to have pretty good markings, teardrops and whatnot. So I wish I could show you more at this time. Jose, sorry about that. J. Cruz said, I know, I freaking made out with 3 females that all show male traits. Isn't that frustrating, Jay Cruz? I get tricked all the time with these darn festae, you know? Some of these females in here, I don't think we're going to be able to see them right now. They still have a ton of spangles on their fins. It just can really throw you off. I mean, they're slowly, but at such a big size, they're finally really showing female. But it fooled me for a while. Thank God I had this one male here, big guy. Jaker said, like Cichlid America posted on Instagram, they had females that had blue spangles. Yeah, well, I think that was it Cichlids of the Americas, or was that Tangle Up in Cichlids? Tangle Up in Cichlids recently had a post where Kevin had his pair, and he said most people would guess that they're female, or the one was a female when it really was a male. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, Jay Cruz, but yeah, it can be confusing. Yeah, Jose Pohl said, all good, bud. Are you still breeding and keeping RTMs? That's another one, Jose. I just moved my pair because I had them divided, and I wanted to do, you know, they were getting, the male was getting pretty big. But I do have some grow out RTM that we should see, hopefully a pair form in the next 2 to 4 months, I would guess. So we still got the RTMs going on in here. Sorry, I can't show you much of the species. And J. Crew said, yeah, Tangle Up in Cichlids. Yeah, that was them. Kevin's got some really nice ones. And that's actually the collection point of Festae that I'm going to get next week. I got a bunch of fry. I think I got 100 of them supposed to come in from that collection point, Rio Nerino, which came originally, Kevin, Tangle Up in Cichlids brought them in. So I'm really looking forward to them. Always looking to try different localities for species I absolutely love, like Feste. So, and of course, 100 fry of that population. I'm not going to be able to keep them all. Goal is to get an ideal pair. So, if that's the case and I keep the rest alive, that's 98 of them I gotta get rid of. But anyways, we'll deal with that when I get there. So, and of course they got to survive the trip, and they got to survive my hard water. So fingers are crossed. Hope I don't mess it up. All right, guys. Well, we're at the little over the 2-hour mark. Usually try to do those videos there, so I'll do a kind of a last call if anybody has a last question or request or anything. Sun's going down really fast, as you guys can tell, so not going to be able to see anything here very soon. But I really appreciate everybody who stopped by. Some people had to leave already. Just happy that people could stop by, even if it's just for a minute. Have some fun conversation with everyone in our monthly Cichlid meeting, and enjoy sharing the passion of the hobby with you guys. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in social media apps and whatnot. And again, thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and till the next one. Try to start it earlier next time so we have more daylight. All right? Cheers, Roger, J. Cruz, everyone else who's still there. Thanks a lot. Take care. Later, Jose.